Okay. Technical stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little presentation about still life photography, and then we're going to jump into doing it. Yeah, we'll have some fun. Still life photography requires several elements to come together. The items that you're photographing, this creative setup, lighting and backdrop, and appropriate post-processing to complete your look. Um, you well, I'll talk about that in a second. So there's a lot of different types of still life photography and that are included under the big header of still life. Tabletop photography is another name for still life photography. And so all the things that would go into that would include food and beverage photography, product photography, floral and botanical photography that is on a tabletop. Not if you're out in nature and taking floral pictures, those are not still life photography. Water drop photography, which we did a few weeks ago. Flat lay photography, which is looking straight down on your subject and arranging your subject matter in nice compositions on the ground or on a table and then taking pictures. And also found objects where they are. If you find a fun little scene with a pot of flowers and a little trowel or something, that would be considered still life photography also. And the main thing is that you want to tell a story. In all photography, that's our goal, is to tell a story. But you have so much more control in still life photography because you're controlling every aspect of what is in the frame. Uh, Here's a flat lay image, water drop photography, floral photography, uh, oh, food photography, um, technical information. For camera settings, if you want to have most everything in focus, you want to be at least at f8. That will give you a good depth of focus. If you don't care, I know a lot of flower photography, I like to have just a little part of the flower in focus. F2.8 is fine for that. The rest of your frame will be out of focus, and just what you pick specifically to be in focus will be the only thing in focus. You want to keep your ISO low for minimal noise, and your shutter speed will depend on how much light you need, how much you have, and how much you need to have a good exposure in your camera. You can use your tripod to have a longer shutter speed and use a remote trigger to minimize the shake of touching your camera to press the shutter. And that's how you can have a longer shutter speed to bring in enough light to your image if you're not using like a strobe or something like that. You want to adjust your tripod to different heights to get different angles of the same subject. You can move it to the right or left, up and down, because when you have your objects set up, you want to try a bunch of different positions just to see what it does to the image. Creative setups. You want to use various textures, various heights, and a cohesive color scheme. That can either be complementary colors, colors that are close to each other, colors that are in a triangle on the color wheel, things like that that will help tie your image together well. You want to pick a theme or idea and put things into your image that are going to support that. Whether it's, I wrote here, reading, kitchen, photography, gardening. You can add to the story by what accessories you add into your frame. You want to have usually a main subject and then supporting objects that will help that subject tell the best story that it can. Basic composition rules still apply. You want to have complementary colors, leading lines. If you don't know what those are, ask me later. Rule of thirds, balance in your image. An odd number of items is always more pleasing. What happened? Hang on here. We'll get back in. Am I still sharing the screen with you guys? Come on.
That's, I see the carrots on the scale.
Okay. I don't know what's going on here. Oh. Okay. Let's start again. I don't know what I touched, but it was not happy. Okay, and then okay, and we're back. Um, odd numbers of items are more pleasing than even numbers. Using curves and triangles in where your points of interest are. Reflections, uh, and I forgot to bring anything that can be reflective, so I'm sorry about that. And try your items in several different positions with each other, just to see what works best. Because trial and error is your friend. These are similar items, just in different positions. Again, different angles and different, I moved stuff around a little. This is reflections. One is using black acrylic uh, plexiglass, and one is using a mirror. Here, I'm using reflections with metal on a sheet of music, so just all sorts of different things count as still lifes. So I have fun. Floral photography, uh, kind of weird floral photography. The one with the clock is supposed to be telling a story about time with the flower wilting and everything. So, um, backgrounds. You want to keep your background simple so that the story is in your objects and the background doesn't just distract from it. You can use a light or dark background to complement your subject, and you can always add in textures after to accentuate those backgrounds. Here's a light background and a dark background. Um, the colors can either be similar colors to your subjects or a complementary color. Is a yellow sunflower with blue plates, so that those are complementary colors. Here are other complementary colors. Apparently, I like complementary colors. Um, but these were done on a black background or gray, and so then the texture is what added the green to the background. The grapes with the green is using a similar color. Using the radishes with the green background, it adds more complementary colors. Lighting, you want to use soft lighting if possible, window light or diffuse light for your best results. From a 45-degree angle is usually best. Sometimes you can do from the side or even behind for maybe an extra pop of backlight, but normally you don't want to do front light. It's not usually very flattering to your subject matter, no matter what it is. Shadows, you can do harsher lighting to make stronger shadows if you want that. And it's great for certain effects. And here's a couple of examples. So this is still considered still life. So um, it's just having fun with shadows. Post-processing, you want to mostly do a natural sort of processing with rich tones and deep shadows uh, for the most part. It's totally what you have in your mind. Think like a painter when you're setting it up, when you're post-processing it. You want to bring out the details that you want to bring out. Other looks could be black or white, black and whites, or sepia tones, or muted tones for like a vintage look. Add textures using Photoshop or a similar program. Uh, and the textures can either be a painterly, canvas, floral, whatever accents your photo. And then fine tune your contrast and those final details, maybe a little bit of a vignette to achieve your final result to your liking. Here's the same picture in color and black and white to see how what the changes. This is a similar subject without a texture and with a texture. And in summary, work to accomplish the vision that you have. Try several setups with the same items, light from different angles, play with post-processing to achieve the results that you're looking for. And if you just follow those steps, you'll end up with some pretty decent images to play around with.